Performing isn't really my thing. So when I decided to try out for the talent show my junior year of high school with a poem I had written, it was a shock to everybody. It was an even bigger shock when I made it. I walked through the halls of my high school and saw so many different walks of life, each providing a unique perspective on the outlook of the world. But the three people I talk about in my poem, Jimmy, Alex, and Sonia, are people that inspired me the most. And while these aren't their real names, I talk about their very real lives. Beauty is often described as perfection, but I don't see it that way. See, we are all uniquely beautiful, and I think our society often forgets that. I think that some of the nicest people often endure the hardest times. I want my poem to reform and rebuild the idea of beauty for those who hear it. This poem is dedicated to all you people out there who aren't afraid of being different. You are something beautiful. They say you don't know what you have until it's gone. That you don't know what you have until you're all alone. That you don't know what you have until you're broken down and crying about that shoulda, woulda, coulda been great, that thing you thought was destined fate. I'm sick of all of these people talking about their unhappy relationships. Well, tell me about a time you asked about someone else. Tell me about a time you didn't care so much about yourself. Tell me about a time that you felt like a someone, but that someone turned you into no one, and that no one turned you into nothing. But you are not nothing. Take, for example, little Jimmy, who sits on the playground all alone, and his address under the phone book is enlisted as unknown because his home is a cardboard box outside of a laundromat on A Street, and his stomach is as loud as an earthquake because he can't eat, and the black circles under his eyes are from deprivation of sleep, and he doesn't know if he can keep a promise to his elementary teacher, Mrs. B, in art class, who told Jimmy to draw a picture of his family. But Jimmy's family includes an intoxicated father, an absent mother, neither of which love one another, and an older drug addict brother. So when Mrs. B sees that Jimmy doesn't turn in his assignment for art class, there are no questions asked. He just doesn't pass, and Jimmy wonders to himself how long this nightmare will last, and the only time anything makes sense is when Jimmy's in class. And the class doesn't understand why Jimmy smells, why Jimmy wears the same clothes every day, why Jimmy is so quiet and has nothing to say, because they don't know and no one knows that Jimmy is not okay. I think it's time we take a stand and rise against the lies, against the cries, against anything that makes you despise the person next to you. Why is it so hard to turn to the stranger next to you and say, hi? Everyone is so antisocial. Our society is starting to die because when we all get wrapped up in one thing, it makes it hard to bring our hidden talents. You know that special secret thing you don't tell anyone else, but you do end up telling someone that makes you feel like a no one, that makes you nothing. But you are not nothing. You are something. Alex plays in the band, and Alex, he likes math. He's on the right path, but inside of school, he feels the wrath of the bullies that tease him and make his light grow dim, and as he grows older, he feels his chances of survival are slim because you haven't seen a grin on that freckled boy's face. Instead, he feels like a disgrace because he has no place. I'm not talking to you about no troubled boy's case, just simple boy with a handicapped leg and brace, and no one gives him a chance. They don't know that Alex's dream is to be able to dance. So when Alex finds the gun, he won't give it a second thought. There was no one there to tell him to stop, and so Alex shot. that person sitting next to you tonight is a someone. And when you get a someone plus you make a something minus the bullshit, because it's time to quit acting like something we're not and start doing something we want. Here we have Sonia, born in Japan, brought here to an unknown land, and as she grows older, her self-consciousness turns from nothing to grand because all the beautiful magazine models are skinny and tan, and she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand why, when she goes home, she doesn't think about boys. She thinks about the girl who sits across from her in class, and she's too afraid to ask, and so she hides behind a mask, and as she grows older, kids call her derogatory names for being gay. And she has nothing to say, so she hides her ashamed face away because Sonia has no one there to tell her that it is okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be black or white, or it's okay to be black or white or Asian or Mexican or atheist or Christian or straight or bi or gay, and it's okay. You want to know why? Because you are all uniquely beautiful. Life is too short to live it with doubt. If you want to say something, get up and shout. Shout for the hungry, tell the rich with plenty of money. Shout for the innocent, the weak, the strong. Tell everyone that they do belong. Let your aspirations go infinitely long, because there's nothing wrong with you. We are the future, us as a whole. This isn't a one-sided lane. We represent everything and every single one of us. Whether that means you're an artist or a skater, an athlete or a baker, there are no more goodbyes. It's see you later. Rise against the haters and dare to be different. It's true. You don't know what you have until it's gone. So embrace the new places. Embrace the new faces, and make that no one feel like a someone. Together, you can become a something beautiful. A few weeks after I performed my poem in the talent show, it got a lot of positive feedback. Students were giving me praise, and teachers were showing it in their classes. It was really cool. And then I got a Facebook message from a girl I never really talked to, thanking me for helping her see herself as uniquely beautiful, and then sharing with me that the thought of suicide had crossed her mind often. But when she thought of herself as uniquely beautiful, it really helped her in the healing process of overcoming her struggles. I felt like I was on top of the world. While some people loved my poem, others did not. Some of the subjects I talk about are sensitive to a lot of people, and words can be misperceived. Whatever your beliefs or values are, I respect them. A few weeks after performing my poem and speaking out in a rally against bullying, I was beat up in front of the entire school in my school lunchroom and sent to the hospital. It was the scariest, most humiliating moment of my life. For months, I wouldn't write poetry. I wouldn't perform my poem because I was so scared. But isn't that what this poem is about? Being scared, being afraid to be different? And wouldn't I just look like a hypocrite if I gave up? But I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop if it means making one more person feel beautiful. And tonight is the first time I performed my poem since that day. And performing my poem isn't about revenge. It isn't about you or me. This is about those people in the dark, the ones that need a light. This is about those individuals who need a reminder of how uniquely beautiful they really are. This is about all of us.